How about B11? Sonny?
Well, I just wanted to mention, I'm going to report to you later this evening that your jail Ad Hoc Committee has been very, very busy. And I'm going to talk about, in the commissioners' reports, I'm going to talk a little bit about recommendations that we made last night and motions that were passed by that committee to come to this board, which will be on your future agenda, and a number of other great things that have come about. But I did want to mention we have finalized the appointments to the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council. And I would like to mention who those 11 members are. As you recall, there are specific people that have to be on this committee. Hopefully we can get them up and running very soon. And I think with their help and the Jail Ad Hoc Committee, we can truly get a handle on our jail situation soon. Sooner is better. But the 11 members are Circuit Court Judge Tom Power, District Court Judge Mike Stepka, Prosecutor Bob Cooney, the local criminal defense attorney. There's 20-some on the list. Every one of them that is approved to be a court-appointed defense attorney was contacted, and Janet Mistely was selected to represent the defense attorneys on this committee. Janet also sits on our Community Corrections Board, so she's been around for quite a while, so she'll be a good addition. Sheriff Tom Bensley, County Administrator Nate Elger, Jail Administrator Todd Ritter, City Commissioner Michelle Howard, County Commissioner Dan Lathrop, citizen, which we did on an interview last week. The citizen selected was Diana Bauer. Diana's here this evening too. She was at our meeting last night. Very pleased to have her be involved. And Community Mental Health Representative Joni Blamer, who also is here. She's like some of the rest of us. She doesn't have any place else to go, so she just kind of wanders in and off the street. So. But I did want to make it a point to recognize those people that have stepped up to help us serve on this Criminal Justice Coordinating Council. And I think we really have momentum going right now, so maybe we can keep it going. So with that, I would move to approve the appointments to boards and committees.
I'll second it.
Okay. Moved by Commissioner Wheelock, supported by Commissioner Lathrop. Any further discussion on this one? So we have a motion on the floor to approve item number 11.
Add 9.
Is that okay?
That's fine.
And, okay, all right, well, for 9 and 11, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. Okay, Sonny, you want to talk
Okay,
about the jail ad hoc?
Well, I want to talk a little bit about the Jail Ad Hoc Committee. Last month, I gave you a little outline about the mental health first aid program, the Train the Trainer program, hiring a mental health professional, and down the line. I passed around a sheet that kind of explains what those different items are. I have actually a couple of copies of the proposals that came from Northern Lakes Community Mental Health last night, if anyone wants to read the whole packet. Basically, what I want to talk about is what we decided last night, and there's a motion, actually, Judge Rogers made the motion, and I don't remember who supported the motion. Tom Mayer supported the motion to move forward with these plans. We talked about the mental health first aid program that Northern Lakes has a grant to provide. I'm very excited to tell you that program will be held here in Grand Traverse County, August 7th, 8th, and 9th. And we have 42 corrections officers signed up for that program. That program is being offered to us at no cost through a grant for Northern Lakes Community Mental Health. But I do need to make you aware that in order to make sure that basically all but one corrections officer and 3 probationary officers will be attending that program. That's pretty damn exciting.
You emptying the jails out or something?
Well, no, but there will be about a $7,500 cost in overtime budgets expenditure to cover the officers that are on duty, so as that each officer can attend this program. All 3 shifts will attend this program on those 3 days. So that's very exciting, and that's at no cost to us. A gentleman out of Houston, Texas, will be coming to do the mental health Train the Trainer program. Again, being grant funded through Northern Lakes Community Mental Health. It's a 40-hour program. It will be held and hosted in Grand Traverse County Jail training room, as far as we know at this point. It will be held September 10th through the 14th. We have 6 Grand Traverse County officers signed up for that program. We are making and have sent out invitations, or will be sending out invitations to the 6 surrounding counties that make up Great Lakes or Northern Lakes Community Mental Health to make this program available to them also, if they choose to be involved. We're bringing this guy in from Houston to run this program. We want to make it available to as many people as we possibly can. Joni mentioned last night, and she can add to this if I screw it up. There is a possibility that because he's coming here and we're doing it the way we are, there may be some of her grant money left. And one of the suggestions that she mentioned to me last night and to Captain Ritter was the possibility, this gentleman, and I'm sorry I can't remember his name now, and she can tell us in a minute, that runs this program. They've built a new facility in Houston that is specifically designed to be a prison jail system that has a very specific component to dealing with people with mental health and drug problems. There may be grant money available at the end of this program that we could send someone to Houston, or a couple of people to Houston at a minimal cost to the county to see what that type of facility was going to be like. I would encourage that if we get to a point where we're making a commitment to build a jail. Obviously, if we're not ready to commit to build a jail, there's no sense in spending time chasing people around the country or hiring consultants or anything else. But I really, truly hope that we will get there soon. The 2 recommendations, the 2 motions that came out last night, there's 2 pieces. One was the mental health professional, 40 hours a week in the Grand Traverse County Jail. You've all heard me complain for years that was the responsibility of Northern Lakes Community Mental Health. One way or the other, we aren't there. We're not meeting the mental health needs that we need in the jail. There was a time a number of years ago, and we all know that was in the past, that Northern Lakes Community Mental Health, Great Lakes Community Mental Health, whatever it was at the particular time, had someone in our jail 40 hours a week. Today, we have 2 people in the jail 40 hours a week, so that's 80 man-hours. We are down under 20 at this point right now. We are not meeting the needs. We need someone in there to deal with these issues. That comes at a cost of $96,000 a year. Not bad, but it's still real money. My suggestion, and what I'm going to ask you to consider, probably in your meeting in August, is that we enter into this contract effective September 1st. I would like to have this professional person under contract, and Joni would like to have them under contract before that September 10th training, so is that person can participate with our officers in that training with this gentleman from Houston. So I think that makes good sense. The other piece is the certified peer support specialist, and that piece comes with a price tag of $64,500, Joni?
$65,500 is what it says.
$65,500. Wrong page. Anyway, peer support specialist was a little more discussion for us. This is a person who has experience dealing with mental health issues, may or may not have spent time in a jail, but is willing to go in and work with these people one-on-one while they're in the jail. The program is designed to deal with prisoners that are in jail for more than 30 days. Not to say that they won't speak with people that aren't there more than 30 days or less than 30 days, but we're primarily their focus is on prisoners in the jail for more than 30 days. The piece that's important about this is they're also charged with the responsibility of helping these prisoners to reintegrate into the community when they're released from jail. They help them if they need substance abuse counseling, if they need family matters. They help them reconnect with natural people, whether it's their family, whether it's a religious or peer group type thing. But primarily, they help them negotiate and navigate the system to get them set up with meetings with doctors or with counselors to help with them with their mental health issues that they had before they went in the jail or while they develop in the jail. I think we all have talked about the prisoner that goes into the jail that's kind of on the edge, really hasn't had an issue, may not have ever thought that they could be a potential client for CMH, but while in the jail their mental health capacity deteriorates, and now all of a sudden they become a problem for our corrections officers. They become a problem with our system in the jail. And under the current program, they're not CMH clients, so therefore they get minimal services unless it's an emergent thing where they feel that they're suicidal or something like that. So this peer support person is going to be in the jail and be able to meet with those folks. And my point has been, even though these people may not be CMH clients, by the time they get out, they may be, and this person can help them facilitate that. So it comes with a big price tag. $65,000 seems like a lot, but when we sit down and we talk about it, if these two positions can keep 3 people that have mental health issues from coming back to our jail, it pays for the program.
Wow.
We seen a proposal last night from a company called Behavioral Medicine Associates, who has a psychiatrist who what he does is forensic psychology and psychiatry in the state prison system. His recommendation right now is that we contract with them 14 hours a week in Grand Traverse County Jail. He believes we have need for a psychiatrist 14 hours a week in Grand Traverse County Jail. That alone comes to a price tag of about $218,000 a year. I'm not prepared to make a recommendation that you consider that at this point. What we talked about last night is we're going to put the person in the jail 40 hours a week with the mental health professional. We'll put the peer person in there. Hopefully, within a couple months, we will see a significant decrease in the demands on the psychiatrist. The psychiatrist that we currently have is costing us $75,000 a year and provides 20 hours a month. 20 hours a month isn't very much. So the idea is with these other 2 positions, we should get to a point where we minimize and leverage what we actually need that psychiatrist for. So that's the plan. I will be asking you and putting it on your agenda for our first meeting in August to approve the contracts with Northern Lakes Community Mental Health for the full-time mental health provision or professional, and for the peer support group or individual. We talked to the 3 gentlemen, in fact, about from behavioral medicine last night. What we would like to do is try this and then see if we can put out an RFP, say sometime after the 1st of January, to have someone come in and do an independent evaluation of the mental health condition inside of our jail. We need someone that has some knowledge to be able to do that. The one gentleman who does nothing but forensic psychiatry every day obviously has the expertise to do that. I don't think any of us can walk through the jail and really assess whether or not we're meeting all the mental needs. We're very obviously, it's pretty obvious to most of us at this point that we're not, but we're hoping that with these 2 additions, we truly make a significant difference. It's $165,000, but that being said, what's the cost of one suicide in a jail? We've seen those lawsuits too. So, let's try to make sure that we're being proactive here. And I believe I give the Ad Hoc Committee all the credit in the world because they've done their homework. They've put together the people to step up and tell us about it. And I absolutely want to thank Northern Lakes Community Mental Health for coming to the table, because we've had a lot of meetings when that wasn't necessarily the case, and we've had a little adversarial thing a few times. You know, Carl and I have had a couple discussions that weren't exactly pleasant. So, but I absolutely want to acknowledge they're coming forward with this, and I will have this on your agenda in August to approve these two contracts. And like I said, my target is to have these positions in place by September 1st.
Okay.
Joni, Carl, you want to add anything?
Okay.
I just,
You have to come to the microphone so everybody at home can hear you.
just a general comment. I'm Carl Kovacs, I'm the CEO of Northern Lakes, and we've had interesting discussions over time and so forth. But I think we've gotten to a really good place. And I have to, credit Commissioner Wheelock, Commissioner Mayer, and the other members of the Ad Hoc Jail Committee, and Sheriff Bensley, who's been active in getting all that moving forward, and Joni Blamer, who's our Chief Population Officer for Adults with Mental Illness, Lori Fisher, who's our Chief Financial Officer, put a lot of work into meeting the request, going back and forth and so forth. So I think we've gotten to a really good place. I think we've collaborated very well. So I'm really pleased with where we are, and I look forward to improving mental health services in the jail, and I think this is a great start.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carl. Cheryl, I think you had something to say? And then we'll.
I'm hopeful that as part of the presentation, we're going to see the budget impact and how that's going to be handled. And I'd also like to see, something that's going to show us how you're going to measure whether this is being successful. I don't think, people not killing themselves is a sufficient measure of success. I want to see, if you're spending money for this peer support specialist to provide all of these services for people, I mean, how is that person supposed to do that once they're back out in the community and still serve the people in the jail? I think that we need some measures to see if this is actually accomplishing the goals that you've set for it, or if we're just throwing money at it, so.
We seen a presentation last night in regard to the peer specialist, talking about recidivism.
Recidivism?
Recidivism. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
always a tough word
I
for
know,
me.
yeah.
But we're gonna, you will see that information.
And that's what,
You know,
I'm just saying, I
and-
think
and,
all of us want to
you know,
see that
it-
there are measures.
The problem is today, we don't have good statistics of where we're at. We're gonna have to deal with a baseline now and then try to evaluate where we are 3 months from now.
And so these contracts that we're entering into are for a year?
That's going to be up to the commissioners, whether, obviously, we're talking about our 2018 budget. We're gonna have to talk about whether or not that money is going to be available in the 2019 budget. Obviously, at least in my mind, I hope that we can figure out a way to identify the funding in the 2019 budget, because it would be kind of a shame to do all this work and put together all this programming and have it last for 4 months.
I agree completely, and I guess what I'm saying is you're bringing us something that you want us to approve in about 2 weeks. It feels like there's some more work to be done. I mean, I don't want to approve something and then have to piecemeal it, so, if we can get a package and the package makes sense, I'm fully supportive, but
We're gonna try to put that all together for you.
appreciate that, thank you.
Okay, Tom and then Bob.
Yeah, I just want to compliment Todd Ritter also for all the help he's put in, his thoughtfulness. If we continue on this track, we'll have a very progressive mental health service system at our jail, and we'll start to set a standard for other counties to follow. I believe that's true.
Okay, Bob?
And I know this is early in the game, but hopefully this is being looked at as, when we build a new facility. We all know we're gonna have to. This model fits into it, and it sounds like that's what you're looking at is in the future, not necessarily for right now, but also into the future, because I would assume some of the savings you can get with the newer technology, that you may be able to pay for this anyway. But my question, the same thing you had, I was gonna have Dean start looking at how you're gonna fund it for the rest of this year and then for 2019, so.
It was interesting to hear from the forensic psychiatrist last night. He does basically all of his work by television.
Yeah.
It's all encrypted. He you know, he's not making a commitment to come to Traverse City, you know, other than on occasion. It's done all via internet, Skype, whatever you want to call it. And, you know, that's concerning. But one of the
It is what it
questions
is.
I ask is, okay, what's the price tag of that equipment? You know, because somebody's got to pay for all of that. Well, I'm very pleased to say that according to Captain Ritter, that equipment was put in with the remodel that was just completed in the Grand Traverse County Jail. The new video equipment that was recently installed will facilitate that capability.
Super.
You know, and obviously at such point as we move to the new jail, you know, that equipment will be included in that construction.
Nice.
Tom?
I just wanted to make it clear that a quarter of these amounts will cover the fourth quarter in 2018, and then the full amount for the full year of 2019. We weren't asking for anything beyond 2019. And then at some point, well, the end of this year, beginning of next year, we'd have some kind of an evaluation to show what we've done and what it's changed.
Okay. Thank the Ad Hoc Committee for doing exactly what we charged them
good
with
job.
doing. We said first figure out the mental health issues,
Yep.
and then move on to facilities and what we can do further. But the charge initially was PDQ, get on the mental health issues, and that's exactly what they did. And I thank you very much.
And, you know, we will have, you know, another meeting, you know, next month in, you know, exactly when we will get to a discussion about a new jail. I can't give you an answer to that. You know, I believe it's absolutely critical that the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council gets in place, has opportunity to meet, and then I believe there's value to have these two committees meet together and talk about the jail. There's no sense in all of us going out and doing the same homework.
Right.
And a number of us have enough history that we don't have to go repeat a lot of the stuff that would normally be done when you were gonna talk about building a new jail.
I think we're doing it in exactly the right order, in a very well thought-out manner.
And-
So
and
I like
We did
it.
that in 2004, and again in 2014. We've done an awful lot of the research already. I don't believe the situation is significantly different in 2019 than it was in 2004 or 2014.
Okay, thank you very
Absolutely,
much.
thank you.
Somebody asked me late last night what happened at the jail ad hoc.
Well,
I don't know.
And now we know.
Now I know.
The news people called me too, and I told
I
them that
told
we
them
would
too,
be
I'm
making a
sorry.
well, that's fine. I just told them we would be making a presentation to the Board of Commissioners tonight, and I wouldn't discuss it until then.
Good. Okay, thank you very much.
You bet.